Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wave 3 Emma Frost, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro. And despite my issues with this figure, I'm going to say they're going to remain fine folks, because this is probably the best Emma Frost we got if you do a head swap with the Walgreens one. Because that is really the only area of this figure where the soft sculpt shows. Other than that, it's not too bad. The cape has enough detail to get by, although you can't pose it for crap with it on, so I assume most of you probably going to replace it with a wired softgoods cape. And then the body itself, not too soft in terms of the sculpt. It is almost on par with the Wolverine I used for comparisons yesterday and will be using for comparison today. But we'll take a closer look and discuss our thoughts, if you will. So, with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see at all the White Queen has to offer in terms of accessories. Same open hands we're seeing time and time again. Alright. Who cares? And then she has another decent head sculpt, but again, this hair is way too soft. It is way too soft. There's like no detail on that. So, I will not be using these heads with mine. I will probably swap the Walgreens one onto it when I find it. But, taking a closer look at old Emma here. Let's just take the cape off. It is a traffic cone and a half. Not sure why we cannot get softgoods capes from this company, but whatever. So, putting that aside, her head doesn't appear to sit too high up and make her look like an alien. But I guess in case that bothers you, you can kind of do this. Get rid of some of that. It's a bit of an illusion. And other than the torso being pretty crap, the articulation's fine, other than where the cape hinders it. You can see the legs are the only real area where there's muscle definition. That's okay enough. I mean, she is wearing a tight suit. She's got some back muscles here. Nothing really on the biceps at all, but that's kind of the norm with female figures. And then the face looks good. It's just the hair. It's not doing it for me. But as far as articulation goes, her head can look side to side. Can't really look up due to the hair. And then she can look down. A little bit of tilt. Might be sitting a little high on that neck because of the hair. I'm not sure. Shoulders can go out about that far. Back down all the way around. She does have a bicep swivel. And unlike Cable, I didn't really feel a need to put any soap on this one. Yes, it's gummy, but it kind of just glides. It doesn't really get stuck like some other figures. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to mess with that. It's a little gummy, but I don't know. It doesn't feel bad to me. She does have double elbow. Works okay. Swivel, hinge, wrists. Now, she does have a waist twist. I'm going to try to get this to work. It's a very tight waist twist because of all the PVC going on down here. Her corset is soft plastic, but it is very snug on that area. But you can get it to twist. It's not too bad. She does have T-jointed hips that actually kick out to the side okay. That's not bad. Kick forward pretty good. Back a little bit, hindered by her buttocks there. I guess her butt could have a little more sculpt to it. Same with her boobies. But her boobs actually do stick up a little bit and forward a little bit, unlike some female Marvel Legends, so I guess that's a plus. She does have a thigh cut. Again, not too gummy there. Double jointed knees. Work okay. Top one's a little stuck. There we go. Not too bad there. Her ankles will hinge forward and back. Nice detents in there. But I will say the rocker is a bit loose. She does have peg holes for a stand, which you're probably going to need. Just getting her to stand. It's kind of difficult. But I think with the cape, and then finding that center of balance, they'll be able to get her to stand okay without a stand. But I would recommend one anyways. Especially if you live where it's hot. You don't want her taking a dive during the summer. Throwing her cape back on. It is a little tricky to get her head to line up, truth be told. Once you do, it's fine. But yeah, arguably the best White Queen we've gotten in Marvel Legends, especially compared to like the old ones. Yuck. But you know, she's not without her issues, of course. Nothing can be perfect. That's scientifically impossible. Unless, I don't know, sorcery becomes a thing and then you can make it perfect by snapping your fingers. But she's alright. She's not bad. She's probably a little stronger than Cable, based off the not as soft sculpt. Based off the fact that her sculpt isn't quite as soft, but still far from perfect. I will say, I like the two-tone in the cape. It's not just white on the inside. They painted the inside black. That looks nice. I like the fur. That's got some texture to it. Again, I don't know why the heads don't. If the heads did, I would just say this is fine out of the box. Just maybe give her a stand and a wired cape. But I would say a step above the Cable from yesterday. So with that being said, it's time now that we take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Emma Frost, alongside the only other figure I have and have taken a look at from this current wave of X-Men 97 figures. Got good old Cable right there. Check that review out if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it if you did. That said, we also have the only other X-Men 97 figure I have handy for comparisons, Wolverine, who, in my opinion, better than both of these. I'm not gonna lie. Mostly because the sculpt isn't as soft, as well as the fact that you can actually pose his ass worth of crap. I mean, being able to move the arms goes a long way in terms of actually posing an action figure. Isn't that what these are called? Action figures? But either way, I already talked enough about the soft sculpts and whatnot in the Cable review, but I guess we'll talk about the posability a little bit in this one because, well, what the heck? Like, McFarlane Toys has made soft goods capes a standard at retail, and Hasbro just refuses to get with the times and give us at least just a crap soft goods cape that just hangs on the figure that allows us to pose the arms. I don't know what's up with that, but it's getting a little monotonous at this point. Monotonous. Monotonous. But getting these two out of the way, let's bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulet. Dropping his mace as always. There we go. As well as the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while she may have a somewhat soft sculpt like the Cable we looked at yesterday, I have to say my only major gripe with good old Emma Frost here is the cape. The cape does not allow you to do squats, but the plus side is it is removable, so you can easily replace it with a soft goods wired cape from a third party if you want. Other than that, the heels do make her a little cumbersome at times, and while the head sculpts are nice, the hair sculpts are way too soft for a comic collection. I'm probably going to swap the Walgreens head onto this body because, not for nothing, that was a fine head sculpt. There's nothing wrong with that head sculpt other than she's got resting bitch face going on. So, not for nothing, doesn't that fit her anyways? Either way, I think this is going to work much better in a comic display than Cable, but you guys let me know what you think of that in the comments below. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.